We are back with another story fresh off the press from Washington. Looks like your boy Trump has fired another employee. This time is in my realm, the head of the Copyright Office. For those of you who don't know, I am Dave, a 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, trade secrets, as well as copyrights. And hey, this is interesting. We're going to put up the article. We're going to read through it. I want you guys to let me know whether or not Trump was justified in his firing or was not justified of this firing of the top person in charge at the Copyright Office. Now, I will say this. Sometimes as a boss, sometimes it's a person who's heading an organization, that being in Trump's case, the executive office, you have to make firings. If people are not performing well, if people are not kind of performing to the standards that you are setting as a boss, as a leader, then unfortunately, I mean, you may give them a time to kind of correct the behavior and kind of bump up their game. But to the extent that they're not bumping it up or getting better, then you have to let that person go. But with this one, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, do you think this was one of those firings, or do you think that Trump essentially was unjustified in making this firing to, I think, Shira Perlmutter? Again, man, these names, I'll tell you what, man, they seem like they get tougher and tougher. But again, we're going to pull up the article. I do want to say, because a lot of people don't know that the federal government has exclusive jurisdiction in intellectual property matters. And that's actually rooted in the Constitution. If you look at Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8, it is known as the Intellectual Property Clause. Actually, I have, hey, look, I didn't plan this, but own intellectual property. And on the back, it says it's your constitutional right, and that's based on the Intellectual Property Clause of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8, to promote the progress of science and useful arts by giving exclusive authority or exclusive ownership for a limited time to authors for their writings and inventors for their discoveries. So again, I'm paraphrasing it, but that's in the Constitution. The framers, as they were thinking of this Constitution, drafting this Constitution way back, I think, in the 1700s, they were thinking about intellectual property and that being a hallmark of a society here in the United States. So again, I am going to pull up the article. As I pull up the article, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Please hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And last but not least, go check out the ebook that I just recently released, Got IP. It's essentially, to the extent that you have an ideal and you're trying to monetize that ideal, it's giving you a step-by-step process kind of based on my 10-year experience as an IP attorney. But also, again, I do these interviewing a lot of people who built businesses and protected their intellectual property, many of which are Shark Tank businesses. You see a common theme. So I've included those stories in a book as well. So definitely go check that out as I pull up the article. Here we go here. U.S. Copyright Office raced to release AI report ahead of Trump firing its boss. And I do want to kind of pull it back on with myself here, just to kind of give you guys the backdrop of what's happening. So it seems like the Copyright Office, and there's been a lot of chatter back and forth between people who are copyright owners and people who are in favor of AI being able to kind of use the copyrighted work to train their algorithm. It seems like the Copyright Office just recently released a report kind of saying whether or not this artificial intelligence on and how much of it they need of copyrighted work to be able to kind of train this algorithm, whether that kind of crosses the boundaries of being copyright infringement or if it's okay. That's essentially what happened prior to or after, prior to the firing, or maybe kind of around the time of the firing of the head person in charge of the Copyright Office. Seems like they're saying that Trump didn't like the findings in the report from the head of the in charge, pretty much saying, hey, it looks like these AI kind of platforms, these AI models are committing copyright infringement. And it seems like they're saying that Trump is on the side of allowing these copyright or these AI models, these AI platforms to use the copyrights. I will say this. Typically, when you have the algorithm or the AI model, you either have one thing. You either have the AI model, which is a lot of times protected via a patent, or you have the actual data. And a lot of times the data can be, copyrighted work, whether it's books, whether it's music, whatever the case may be. You typically don't have both. So you typically have either the AI, artificial intelligence, the model, or you have the actual data that the model needs to train. So this is kind of the whole, the whole point of it is, okay, can the AI models or the companies that owns the AI algorithm, the AI models, can they use that data, even though it may be copyrighted material, without committing copyright infringement? That's kind of the whole back and forth of this. And it seems like the Copyright Office in this report, which we're going to take a look at here shortly, is saying that, hey, that's kind of copyright infringement, whereas it seems like maybe the AI platforms and algorithms is saying, hey, we need this to kind of be able to continue to be at the forefront of this, and this should not be looked at as copyright infringement to the extent that we are using this copyrighted material to train our algorithm. So that's essentially the backdrop in all this. Let's kind of pull back up the article to go through it here really quickly and kind of get your guys' thoughts. Donald Trump sacked the boss of the Copyright Office shortly after it published its report on whether or not AI training is fair use. The two events are probably linked, though it's more likely the office rushed released the report knowing that Chief Shira Perlmutter was about to be axed. So it seems like, hey, they released the report and she was axed shortly. She was fired shortly thereafter. And again, this is the whole thing of, hey, if they're using this copyright subject matter to train these AI models, is that fair use or is that copyright infringement, as I was talking about before? So President Donald Trump has fired the boss of the Copyright Office shortly after it published its much anticipated report on whether or not training AI models with existing content constitutes fair use under American copyright law. If AI training is fair use, AI companies can use existing content within the U.S. without getting permission from any copyright owners. Again, this is what I'm saying. You typically don't have the data, which a lot of times is protected via copyright, whether it's books, whether it's music, so forth and so on. If you do have the model, and if you have the data, you typically don't have the AI models. So you kind of need both of them to train these AI models. And it seems like whether or not using it without permission, using this copyrightable subject matter without permission is considered fair use or copyright infringement. Seems like according to the Copyright Office, it's kind of more along the lines of infringement and not fair use. Some have suggested that publication of the report may have prompted Perlmutter's dismissal because it is seen to favor copyright owners over the powerful tech lobby that now surrounds the president, Elon Musk in particular, whose companies want unfettered and free access to all content in the world to train their AI models. So it seems like Elon Musk is on the side of the companies having AI models. Democrat Congress member Joe, who called Perlmutter sacking a brazen, unprecedented power grab with no legal basis, it is surely no coincidence that Trump acted less than a day after she refused to rubber stamp Elon Musk's efforts to mine trolls of copyrighted works to train AI models. So it seems like she didn't give in to Elon Musk and her other tech giants' request to use this copyrightable subject matter without getting permission from the copyright owners. However, the timing of the report and Perlmutter's axing might be connected in another way. The office knew Perlmutter was about to be sacked and wanted to make sure the AI report was released before that happened. Okay, so it seems like even before the report happened, she was, pretty much going to get fired. Somewhat confusingly, the version of the Copyright Office AI and Fair Use report in circulation is called the pre-publication version. Pre-publication of government documents is not in itself unusual. Documents are sometimes released as pre-publication versions to give stakeholders a head start on reviewing content, allowing any parties impacted by the report, including companies, industry, and advocacy groups, and other government agencies, time to begin preparations for compliance or developing feedback. The official explanation for why a pre-publication version exists of this particular report is that the Copyright Office wanted to respond to queries from Congress and other stakeholders now before publishing the final version. So it seems like they're trying to give the other stakeholders time to give some feedback. However, as prominent copyright lawyer and industry commentator Aaron Moss points out, to be clear, pre-publication versions of Copyright Office reports aren't standard practice. And the timing of this was no accident. So it seems like they're pretty much saying that they did this because they knew she was going to get fired. Certainly, the release of the pre-publication report seems to take many people by surprise, coming late on a Friday afternoon with no advance warning. It seems like the Copyright Office knew leadership change was coming, so it seems like, hey, your boy Trump is getting rid of everybody. Seems like he also removed senior officials at the Library of Congress, of which Copyright Office is part because of their perceived left-leaning worldviews rather than because of any debates around copyright and AI. So it seems like, again, he fired Carla Hayden, which is the librarian of Congress, already fired, and the woman who appointed Parmalee. So it seems like he's firing other people. So it's definitely possible that the Copyright Office rushed release the pre-publication version of this report once it became clear that Trump was about to be wheeled the axe again. I mean, this is crazy. Whether or not the pre-publication version will survive, okay, I'm tired of hearing about the pre-publication version. Trump's team are working on their own report on AI, which will include a section on copyright matters. And it's been widely speculated that the report will favor the AI companies, given the tech giants are now fully signed up members of the Trump Suck Up Club. So it seems like, hey, this is a favor for a favor, quid pro quo, whether it's Apple, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Elon Musk and Tesla. They're giving support and maybe money over to Trump in exchange for a favorable report as relates to being able to use this copyrightable subject matter without permission from the copyright owners because it's fair use. That said, the Copyright Office ultimate conclusion on whether or not AI training is fair use is basically maybe, but not always, which means while the report arguably favors the copyright owners, it doesn't come down strongly on either side of the debate. That kind of makes sense. The fact is noted by Meredith Rose of Public Knowledge, which campaigns on internet and IP matters, responding to Meredith's Morales statement suggesting that AI report prompted the firing of the head of the Copyright Office. She wrote on social media, "I'm not sold on the casualty implied in this statement because the report is 113 pages of, well, it depends. And the people who find that offensive enough to call for her ouster, which would have been utter lunatics on either side of this fight." So let me know what you guys think. Based on that article, do you think Donald Trump firing of the head of the Copyright Office was justified, or do you think that he's in bed with these billionaires, these tech giants, to try to use copyrightable subject matter without permission to train these AI models? I don't know. I'm kind of torn because on one end, I understand needing kind of to develop these AI models, but hey, man, whether you are kind of making videos or songs or music or creative works as far as drawings or books or whatever the case may be, and for them to be able to use that without permission to train the AI models and essentially really kind of potentially or most likely put you out of a job. Is that fair or not fair? I mean, I just, hey, I think it's tough. It definitely doesn't come out one side or the other, but it seems like in this case, based on the current regime at the Copyright Office, kind of being in favor of it being copyright infringement, it seems like Donald Trump, hey, he's kind of cleaning house and bringing on his own people. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button. Go check out that ebook. The link is in the description, and I will catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.